Welcome back. If you've ever found yourself disappointed waiting to hear back from a job application, well, don't take it personally. The job may never have existed. There are potentially thousands of fake ads out there, and they're known as ghost jobs.
So, to explain what they are, we're joined by workplace expert Ben Hamer, live in the studio.
Morning.
Ben, thanks for being here. This sounds spooky and like I'm in Scooby-Doo. But what is a ghost job, and how common is this?
Yeah, so a ghost job is any job that is advertised that an employer doesn't actually intend to fill. And so when we measure it, it's any job that has been advertised for more than 30 days. So in terms of then how prevalent it is, so in the US, over half of the jobs that were advertised last year weren't actually filled. And in the UK, over 1/3 were actually considered to be ghost jobs.
Oh, so this is everywhere. Why are employers doing this?
Yeah, so the main reason that employers say they do it is to try and get a warm pool of CVs and applicants. So recruitment can be a pretty cumbersome process, so that when they do actually need to hire someone, they've got all these candidates that are ready to go. But what was pretty, I'd say, disappointing was there was a study that came out of the US last year. They asked over 1,000 recruiters or hiring managers, why are you actually doing this? And over 40% said that they're doing it to give the impression to the market that they're growing. So really tight market where, tightening the purse strings, they want to give the impression that they're growing within that, whether it's to shareholders or to customers. And over 1/3 said they're doing it to placate overworked staff. So staff who are really feeling the pinch, maybe that their colleagues have been let go and they're not backfilling, so they're taking on more work. And the company's saying, hey guys, don't worry, we're recruiting, we're getting you help. But there's actually no intention to do that.
That help never comes. So they're not actually even internally promoting anybody, like advertising a job, but then just internally promoting someone who should be.
They have no intention of
it's just
at all.
to give the impression that you'll be having more help and more support.
So there must be, like, if you're looking at this and you're filling out your CV and you're taking your time and you want to get into this area, whatever area you want to get into, are there red flags you can see clearer to see this is a ghost job?
Yeah, so there would be 3 red flags, I'd say. The first one, as I said earlier, if the job's been advertised for more than 30 days, it gives the impression there's no urgency to actually fill it, so you can assume that it's a ghost job. The second one is if you've actually applied for a job and say you haven't heard back for about 6 to 8 weeks, again, you would assume it's a ghost job, maybe reconsider whether or not you would apply for a role with that company in the future. And the other one is when you look at the job ad and the job description, if it's quite vague, then it's probably a ghost job. You want to actually read it, it should be quite specific, and you should get an impression of day to day what's actually required from the role. But kind of underpinning all of that, all job ads should have a contact person or a recruiter on there. And so pick up the phone, send them an email, ask them questions to really get a feel for the legitimacy of whether or not it's an actual role they're recruiting for.
So other than the obvious frustrations from applicants who are applying for jobs that don't really exist, what are the potential consequences of workplaces doing this?
Yeah, well, if you go to the example of the overworked staff member, I mean, at some point the help actually isn't going to come, right? And so you're not just really getting potential applicants offside, but also your current workers. But then also word of mouth works so differently these days. So it's not just, having the water cooler conversations. It's Glassdoor and Fishbowl where people are going to these websites to expose and talk about these practices within organisations. And then even now with Gen Z, in TikTok, there's this subgenre called work talk. And so they're sending or creating reels and videos and posting them, calling out what they believe to be this kind of unethical practice.
So surely there's some regulation in place to stop this from happening, isn't there?
It's like a kind of sort of thing. So yes, that you can go to the ACCC or Fair Work because they're in place to really...
So we have to report the ghost job.
So we have to report it, and it's anything that you believe is to be deceitful or misleading, which is a ghost job. So that does exist, but then you actually have to prove that the company never intended to fill it, which is really challenging. So it's enough to kind of discourage employers from doing it, but not to actually stop it altogether.
Fascinating.
Wow, Ben.
Great to get your perspectives on this. Thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.